meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, may I have the roll call, please?
Mike Cunningham.
Here.
Myrna Smith.
Here.
Al Poole.
Here.
David Walker.
Here.
Soren Peterson.
Here.
Mercy Husted here, and Chuck Schultz is absent.
This time I'd like to suspend our regular board meeting so we may conduct a public hearing. The public hearing is to review the proposed Apple Orchard Drive Waste Collection Project 2017 Special Assessment District. If anybody would like to make any comments to the Township Board, please stand up, state your name and address for the record.
Paul Phelps, 9009 Apple Orchard. I was just wondering about maybe a little clarification on the, was it 10% possible raise yearly, not necessarily yearly, but up to 10% without any coming back to the resident. Some kind of clarification on that?
That's standard language that we put into all of our special assessments because a price increase may occur. Even though we do put this out to bid, there may be a price increase. So rather than have to go back and redo the whole petition and everything, we put that in the language to cover that.
I guess that seems...
Yeah, and I don't know that we've ever had to make any changes since I've been here.
Okay.
No.
But it's just it's basically just saves you guys the extra cost of having to have another public hearing, go through, and you know what I mean. So because if you set a special assessment at a certain price, that's what it's got to stay at. If the company says, well, you know, we've had major increase in fuel costs, 50% increase, we're going to have a small bump, then that kind of changes the whole situation. We have to start all over.
10% just seemed like a kind of a higher number.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. That's what the attorney puts in all of the petitions that, since I've been here, it's always been the 10% that he's had us put in here.
Okay.
But because it's, as Debbie knows, it's a process to have to circulate petitions.
Right.
So, and there's costs involved if we have to start over. So this just helps protect you so that we're not going through this all again in, 5 years or 4 years. If costs do go up, hopefully they'll go up substantially anyway.
Even at 10%, we're way below anyone else.
Right.
Right. Now, generally, we go by, it's a contract, an annual contract amount. So that amount would be, at least you would know about the amount
Right.
prior to it being on the tax bill.
Right.
So,
Right.
And
but
it was going to be higher the first year?
It's higher the first year because we have publication costs, because we have to hold 2 public hearings, and we have to publish it in the newspaper, and those costs are between $400 and $500 for each publication. And then we have the mailings. We have to send out the letters to all of the residents for both of the public hearings. So that's why the first year it's higher, because we have to cover those costs.
Anybody else? Okay, since we have no other comments, then we'll go ahead and we'll close the public hearing and reconvene our regular board meeting. Any changes to the agenda?
There was one. We have a bid from Ronald's Tree Service
Yep,
that
I've
we
got
want to
that.
add.
Yep, we're going to add that as business item number 8, and I'm going to add business item number 7 is, I'm going to pull this off the consent agenda because there's going to be I have a modification to the minutes, so we'll put that under item number 7.
the Ronald's Tree under new business?
So yeah, new business 7 will be
Ronald's Tree.
amendment of the PC minutes from the joint meeting, and then Ronald's Tree will be number 8.
Oh, the 8. Okay.
Any other
Oh.
changes?
Okay.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Support. Been motioned and supported to approve the agenda as amended. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Agenda is approved. Next is approval of the consent agenda minus the board workshop, or the joint meeting minutes.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the consent agenda minus the joint meeting minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries. Next is communications. We have 7 of them. The first one is the Livingston County Sheriff's Report from March 2017. The second one is the same thing from April 2017. Third is the Planning Commission approved meeting minutes from April 11th, 2017. Fourth is Planning Commission meeting synopsis from May 16th, 2017. The fifth is the notice of the Bastille Day Race 2017. The sixth item is the Historical Society Hall cleanup update, May 19th, 2017. And item number 7 is the Livingston County Tax Allocation Preliminary Order, May 22nd, 2017.
So moved.
Support. It's been motioned and supported to receive and place on file communications 1 through 7. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that motion carries. Public remarks is an opportunity for the public to make any comments about what's on the agenda or anything else they feel free or wish to discuss. So, yes?
9040 Orchard. Going backwards, but are there companies that they've been looking at, or how does that work?
Yes, Debbie,
No, that's fine.
I'm sorry, I can never pronounce your name. She contacted Dougie's and she contacted Republic, and Dougie's gave her, I might as well go ahead and tell you, they gave her a quote of $39 per resident per quarter, and that includes a 96-gallon curb cart. They're going to do recycling every week. They're going to do yard waste every week, April through October. The first 2 bags are at no charge. After that, it's 50 cents a bag. They will provide recycling containers. However, it's going to be an additional $10 a quarter. So I'm not sure that you want to actually go that route, because I'd have to assess everybody for the extra $10 a quarter, because I can't assess each person based on whether or not they have that additional cart. So that was Dougie's. And then she also got a quote from Republic, which comes out to be with the weekly trash, recycling every other week, and yard waste every other week. It was going to be $61.20 a quarter. And I tried to work with Republic, and I could not get a rate from them that was any better than what they provided to Debbie. So that's all I have, is just these 2. You're welcome.
Anyone else?
That's more than I pay with them now,
With Dougie's?
with Republic.
Oh,
Wow.
And if they do the whole street, that would,
It sounds like you might have a letter coming at the end of the year, if you were to stay the course. Okay, anyone else? Thank you very much. Oh, go ahead.
They sell the recycling bins at Home Depot, and you're good to go. Just put recycling on it and draw that triangle, and then
I'd like to have recycling bins already.
Yeah, you probably do. All right.
Another question?
Yes,
I have, this is, I'm a first timer
sure.
here, so.
Welcome.
Excuse me for my ignorance, but I'm here because I'm concerned
Uh-huh.
about improvements or
Yeah, we still need to talk about it, but it's going to be item number
On there.
4?
4.
Okay, I just didn't know if somehow I missed that, and I didn't want to miss the
Yeah.
opportunity.
But if you have a comment about it, right now is the time to make it.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering where it is in the process, what's going on.
Right.
Seen anything done. I've been on there and had a house on there for so many years. I consistently call on it to the road commission. And
Sure.
they're very good at coming out, but I'm just wondering if we're ever going to see that road get paved.
Yep, but we'll talk about that when we get to item number 4, and you'll know what the scope of work is, and hopefully it'll put a smile on your face.
Maybe speak after that as well, I see public remarks.
Yeah, so if there's, but if you have anything to say now, then that will be the next time for the public to speak.
I'll speak after. So
Okay.
I don't want to speak about what you guys already have planned.
Okay,
Extend the time.
perfect. All right, so anyone else? All right, we'll move on to unfinished business. We have none, so we will move on to new business. First item of business is resolution number 170601, and that's to approve the project details and direct the preparation of the special assessment roll for the Apple Orchard Drive waste collection project.
So resolved.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much to
Yeah, we've already done
discuss.
it.
Okay.
That's fine.
It's been resolved and supported to approve the project details and direct the preparation of the special assessment roll for Apple Orchard Drive Waste Collection Project, 170601. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Or roll call vote, please, I'm sorry.
Al Poole,
Yes.
Marna Smith,
Yes.
Soren Peterson,
Yes.
David Walker.
Yes.
Mike Cunningham.
Yes.
Marcy Houston, yes, and Chuck Schultz is absent.
So that motion carries, so the resolution is passed. Excuse me. Next item is resolution number 170602 to schedule the second public hearing for the Apple Orchard Waste Collection Project.
So resolved.
Or,
It's been resolved and supported to schedule the second public hearing for the Apple Orchard Drive Waste Collection Project, resolution number 170602. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote, please?
David Walker.
yes.
Mike Cunningham.
Yes.
Marna Smith,
Yes.
Al Poole,
Yes.
Soren Peterson,
Yes.
Marcy Houston, yes, and Chuck Schultz is absent.
That resolution carries. Next is approval of the final summer newsletter.
So again, we will have our color, sort of the laminated paper, well, it's not laminated, but it's that glossy paper. And this is a kind of a final version draft. And we will be sending this to the printers, I think on the 8th or 9th. I forgot what the date was now. Or maybe it's the 12th, it's Monday the 12th. So if there is anything on here, little tweaks, please let me know ASAP, but this is what we're planning to send out.
Do you have a little stage fright here or something?
Nah. But we've already approved the pricing to
Yeah.
include for all the postage and printing of the taxables with the newsletter, but I just wanted to show the content of it, if there's any questions or concerns or changes.
I like the format of this, and I think that every time we do this, it gets better and better, and we've had really good response from our residents for it, so I think we should move forward with this.
There's a lot of good information in there.
Yeah,
That's all.
good. Try to put new things in there, but kind of the basics continue.
And it's nice and bright. It kind of catches your attention.
I think now that it's color, it gets people's attention a lot more, so. Okay. I don't think, we don't need a motion for it, do we?
Well, you're asking for approval, so,
Approval, okay, so I'll make a motion to include the newsletter with the summer tax bill.
Support?
been motioned and supported to include the newsletter with the summer tax bill. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? approved. Next is the estimate for road improvement for McGuire Road between Fawcett and Allen. I was approached by Al Mattioli from Deerfield Township, wanted to know if I was interested in doing any joint road improvement projects, and, the board had indicated that yes, that would be something that we would look at, and one of the areas is this area between Fawcett and Allen Road on McGuire. It is kind of a clay road, sandy in some areas. It has no gravel in it. So they're going to do some tree work, eliminate some of the trees, do some ditching to get the water off the road so it drains well, and then we're going to add gravel. The cost of the project is $70,000. We would split that between the two of us at $35,000. It's approximately a mile long. It's very similar to the work that we've done over here on Heartland Road. Thing is it's a 50-50 split with the neighboring township. I do believe, this is an estimate. I think that now that Spring Ag is about ready to fire up, that it may be a little bit less, but we'll find out once we get a final bill on that and that actually happens. But that's the proposal. So to answer your question, what's going to happen is that if this is approved, they'll send a crew out there to take care of any trees that are in the right-of-way that need to be cut down. So they'll cut them down, they'll remove the stubs, and then they'll shape the road and they'll ditch it, and then they'll bring in about 6 inches of gravel. So what that'll do is when it rains, the water will run off the road so you won't have the puddling. It'll make it a lot smoother to drive on, and the road will hold shape and condition a lot longer. Also, when they chloride it, it'll set up and it'll be a lot smoother. If they get that gravel from Spring Aggregate, there's some really good gravel over there, so it should be a really nice surface to drive on. So, we've been doing little projects here and there, with the budget reserve money that we have left over every year, and I wish we could do it all at one time. But the fact is that the ultimate responsibility of the roads goes to the road commissions, and the townships help out wherever they can, and this is one of those instances. So
That's a pretty good deal, actually.
It is, splitting
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Be able to get into it for that price.
Yeah, and I'm still, and I've talked with Steve Wasilic, and remember we had discussion at a workshop about the previous estimates, and he's going to revise those. Those was the full scope, so there might be some relief there. So we're looking for those projects, but this was the one that I think that we should at least have discussion and get started on if we decided that we wanted to do this. We have money to do it.
There's plenty of funding in roads with our chloride.
So moved.
Okay.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the joint road improvement with Deerfield Township, with our cost being $35,000. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries. So now we're just waiting on Deerfield to pass their motion for their half, and away we go. But it seemed like that they were very interested in doing so. So we're halfway there. All right. Next item on the agenda is the Lake Shannon's Association's request for a fireworks display permit. This is something that every year that I've been here, they've conducted a fireworks show. It appears that they have all their documentation in line, documentation with the fire chief, our insurance company. They've listed us as co-insurer, correct?
Additional, yeah.
Additional insurance.
Yep. Additional insurer. So I think all the
We're good.
I's have been dotted and the T's have been crossed, and unless anybody has any concerns.
So moved. Second.
Motion and supported to approve Lake Shannon's Association request for a fireworks display permit. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, that motion carries. Next is the appointments to the Public Safety and Salary Committee. As instructed, we wanted to kind of clean up our committees and put some terms on these to run consistent with kind of, the Township Board. The first is the Public Safety Committee. David Walker would be the representative from the Township Board. We have our former clerk, Keith Kramer, who's done a lot of work with the public safety, and he was actually our board representative, so he will bring a lot of good information. Jim Koloff, who was a previous board member, who actually put together a lot of the work and presentation for the original public safety assessment that went through. We have Marv Franklin. Everybody knows about Marv's credentials. Ronald Stokes, who previously sat or was part of the board. I don't want to say sat because that's not a good term, but was an active member of the Public Safety Committee. And Brett Selby, who's new, who's also in the law enforcement industry, so I think that he would bring valuable insight to it. I still have one person that I'm trying to fill because we need 7 members, but I figure I'd go ahead and get these 6 appointed because we might have some things that are coming up, so that would be for the Public Safety Committee. Each of these terms, I believe, would expire in 3.5 years. And then same thing with the Salary Committee. We have Cam Gonzalez, who's a former trustee, he's a member of the Planning Commission. Perry Green, who's been interviewed for the Planning Commission, did very, very well. Wanted to be part of it. Herman Ferguson, who was previously part of it. Mike Byam and Bob Fleckenstein. We have a very big demographic here. I think we have a gentleman who's a retired police officer. We have a person that cuts down trees. We have a person that sells real estate. We have a person that has a home occupation. Then we have a person that was a president of a pretty large corporation. So it gives a good perspective of all angles to make sure that we're looking at this at the right way. So those are the 5 that I'd like to appoint, and their term will be for 3.5 years, and they'll end when the Township Boards ends. So if we have any questions you'd like to ask, let me know.
Looks pretty good to me.
So moved.
Support?
It's been motioned and supported to appoint the Public Safety and the Salary Committee appointments. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, that motion carries. And I'll be getting with you here shortly, Cam, probably tomorrow or Thursday, whatever works best for you. And let's get that out of the way. Next is the approval of the Joint Planning Commission minutes. There's one thing that I'd like to add to the minutes is that under discussion number 12, I started out that conversation noting that the length of the Planning Commission meetings are getting long due to the increased workload, that meetings should generally last about 2 hours, and that's kind of was what started the conversation, so I'd like to have that included into the minutes. I have that written down. That would be under
The joint meeting.
on the joint meeting under number 12, it's a discussion on additional planning commission minutes. And that's how the topic was started. I'm just having that added in to amend it. I have, let's see, annual joint meeting schedule, and then I have number 12, discussion of additional planning commission meetings.
It's on the back part of it.
So, I don't know if you're, got it? Okay. So just for the record, it's just that Supervisor Cunningham noted the length of the PC minutes are getting long due to increased workload. That a meeting should generally be approximately 2 hours long. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve the amended joint meeting of the Township Board and Planning Commission minutes.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the joint meeting of the Township Board and Planning Commission minutes as amended. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Next is item number 9, additional tree cutting. We've had a couple of trees that have popped up that are quite dangerous. In fact, one of them just recently broke and fell on top of a Livingston County Road Commission truck. And it was a big dude. It was a big cherry tree, and it just missed the cab of the truck by about 5 feet. And it took out probably about $1,000 worth of new road signs. We got lucky. So I told Wayne to get out there. We had a resident call. I found one. This was one, and I believe there was another one. So I said to Wayne, I said, why don't you go out there and mark those and take a look at them and see if, the assessment's right on those. He said, yeah, they need to come down before they hurt somebody. So Ronald's, who has been approved to do our tree work, went out and took an estimate. So it's going to be additional $2,200 to get these trees out of the way. And they're big trees.
I had a question, though.
Sure.
I had a question about the cost, because looking at the contract, it was supposed to be $2,300 for an 8.5-hour day, or $200 per an hour for an as-needed service. So I'm just kind of wondering where the $2,300 or $2,200 came from. Do you have any idea?
Is it for a full day? Or
That's a full day's work out there, so you probably
Is it?
understand that a
Okay.
little bit. Yeah, that's,
Okay.
that one oak tree is huge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're
That's,
gonna
I
have to
just
come out with a
wondered.
bucket and,
Okay.
And this will be out of right-of-way funds? Or is it out of township, the general?
we could do it either way. I don't- Do we still have right-of-way? funds
Yeah, we
available?
still have 4,000, 4,100.
We could take it out of
in
the
right-of-way.
I would take it right out of the right-of-way then.
Okay. All right.
Perfect.
They come in and clean it all up, chip it.
They chip it, clean it up. What they'll do is they'll leave
The big chunks.
5-foot strips there, because the homeowners always want the wood.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want to cut the tree down, but they'll graciously take the wood.
Okay.
And oak and cherry, that stuff is,
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff.
that's good stuff to burn,
All right, good.
especially if you're making brisket or ribs.
Right.
So we need a motion. Support.
Been motioned and supported to approve the Ronald's proposal to cut down 3 large trees in the township. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, that motion carries.
They don't always want the wood, because the monster that tipped over in front of my house is still there.
Yeah, that was
saw that.
huge.
So
Oh, my God.
I've got a guy coming to pull it out of there.
Is it poplar?
No, it's
It's-
oak, but I've got
it's big.
I talked to the neighbor, I'm gonna pay to have a guy come and take it out, since it
Oh.
came off my land, so.
The neighbor doesn't want it, huh? For
Well,
all the
I
work
put-
he's been doing over there.
Yeah, no, he doesn't want it.
Oh, yeah, just put a sign out there, free wood.
Yeah, that's
Might
gonna
wake
take
up and have your whole front yard deforested.
5 men and a small boy out there to get that thing done, so.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done with new business. We have no miscellaneous business. Public remarks. Yes, sir.
Question.
What was your name?
John Rinke,
Yeah, your address?
item 2 in Appalachia.
Oh, thank you.
Just a question about the process. A public hearing,
Right.
a second public hearing was approved. I guess I don't understand that. When is this whole thing going to be approved or disapproved?
Okay.
What's the process?
So
It's a
what-
little weird.
So what's going to happen is we're going to have a second public hearing where we will actually be telling you what the actual costs are going to be. And then if that is approved, if there's no major objections, it will get approved and it will be assessed on your December 1st tax bill. So December.
The winter tax bill.
So if approved, it will begin when?
April 1st, next year.
Next year?
Mhm.
Okay.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Jeff Campbell, I'm at 60. If the ditches and the tree removal are shared on both sides of the road, both townships?
Yeah, what will happen is this is the estimate for the whole project, and we'll just split those costs.
Okay. But the work to actually be done, they're gonna carve out both sides, remove trees from
Yep.
both sides?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I just asked because on the Deerfield side, the west side, they've marked numerous trees. And
Right.
just like every one of them. So that's a lot of trees to remove, but it is what it is. Betterment of the road. But then on the west side as well, that's where Consumers runs down. And if you go down that road, there's actually it kind of banks off about 10 inches.
Right.
So the grade, code it's 18 inches, but it's not quite 18 because of roots. I don't know if that's like an unforeseen issue that people don't know about. I've seen this done when they try to put driveways
Sure.
in, and it's like literally 4 inches if you kick the.
Right. Well, our road supervisor and our engineer went out and took a look at it, so,
Okay.
or their engineer, I'm sorry. So,
Last one I had, do you know if that's gonna, if there are any culverts put in on the driveways?
usually when they do, they'll look and see if there's any existing cross tubes that have deteriorated, whatever, and they will replace it. And just about every project that we've done, there have been culverts that have been put in some driveways. I'm not saying they're gonna put them in all, depending on how the ditching occurs. So if it's a real deep ditch and there's a lot of slope out there, there'll definitely be a cross tube in the thing, but that's all covered in this.
Okay. Is that 6 inches of gravel brought in on top of what's there, or are they gonna cut?
So what they'll do is they'll go in and they'll grade it up real nice, and then they'll start adding gravel and they'll roll it. And they'll roll it in layers to where it packs down. They'll bring a big roller in and roll it.
Okay.
Did I get that right, Phil? There's our engineer, so he's been involved in many, many road projects. So.
Okay. But last one I thought of is with these ditches, it's great to the low spots and let some of the low spots on that road. Or are the ditches just kind of,
Usually they look at where that water's going to flow and they try to divert it to, the best possible place for it. Fortunately for us, in everything that we've done, there's been some sort of wetland or whatever. And what they'll do is they'll get it to that wetland and then they'll create a diversion and it'll go into the wetland and do what it does.
okay.
So I don't know if there's a wetland there. I haven't driven it yet myself, so.
Yeah, I can't think, but they could create it. Part of it, or it's just ditches.
Yeah, one end, we're just gonna kind of tilt it towards Deerfield and let them deal with it.
Right.
Don't tell them I said that, we're just kidding.
Until they approve first.
Yes, sir.
Paul Phelps. Just a question on their road project. We have been here about Apple Orchard. What is the difference between township money for that, but the residents all paying for the Apple Orchard paving? How are they different? Why is township money being allocated for that, but not for the other? What's the difference? Why? Because we're so far down the list on repairs, and we'd like it done sooner, or?
Well, I think there's several pieces of that puzzle. First of all, you guys came to us for the road project.
Okay.
We are not putting any paving money towards any subdivisions or any, like residential areas. The only paving money that we've allocated thus far is towards county primary roads as part of the county preservation project, where we donate some funds and the road commission donate funds. So if the road commission's not going to donate any funds, then we don't even look at it because we can't afford those costs. There was one road that we did do, and that was Heartland Road, and because we had two roads that were leading up to the city of Fenton, and one of them was just astronomical, and we couldn't even begin to afford that. And it had a lot to do with public safety and having Fenton City Fire be able to get to our township without getting their equipment beat to So,
Well,
and that's how that
was
goes.
secondary.
And as far as the gravel roads, our gravel roads are horrible, and they don't take up as much resource. We're only throwing $30,000 at a mile of road. So we look at, trying to improve those. For the most part, we've been working a little bit every year on Heartland Road. So Heartland Road's a made thoroughfare between Heartland and us and City of Fenton. So we've been, doing some ditching and gravel there. But we've only been doing, 35,000 a pop for the last 3 years. And it seems like one of these days we're going to get to the township line on that. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Does that make sense?
Just wondering,
Yeah.
was it basically because we approached?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or somebody approached,
Sure, yep, that was, and that's kind of been our plan is, to look at our mainly heavy traffic roads and work on gravel, and then whatever the county would be willing to do with their pavement preservation
Yeah,
project.
and the county does have a listing, because they do Pazer, they do testing, and they sort of have a list that they prioritize what is the worst to the best. And then we try to give them input on what we think is the worst to the best. But a lot of times they sort of have a schedule of what they want to fix. They can only do so much every year. But then they come to the township and say, well, how much do you have to put in? Can we get this done this year? So, we really do base it off of the county's kind of standards and guidelines and their schedules, so. And I'm assuming subdivisions probably are last on the list, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and from where I moved, the city took care of everything,
Right.
through, there wasn't special assessments for.
Sure, you probably had a larger millage rate in the city.
Well,
too.
yeah.
Pretty substantial, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Yeah.
We're still under 1.
Yeah. No,
They were probably closer to 10, weren't they? I mean, we could do that. I mean,
that's in the past, and I like what I'm doing now.
I mean, if you'd like to, we can put a millage increase on the ballot. All right. Thank you. Anybody else? I'm sorry. Let the ma'am and the lady in the back.
Darla, I just have a question.
And then I'll
about
get back to
the Wire Road. And maybe I missed it, and I'm sorry, but it's slated to start.
The project itself.
It's basically up to the road commission where they can fit it in. They have so many different projects going, and it's basically where that equipment is moving around. They try to schedule that. So once we tell them go, they're going to put it in somewhere. But if Deerfield has already approved it, it would happen sometime before October.
And you were waiting for Manuel or Deerfield to approve it?
Yeah, and I haven't spoke to Alan about a month, so they may have already approved it, but I don't know.
Okay.
Usually we'll get like a week or two notice from the road commission, and we'll put it maybe on the website or something to inform residents the project's going to be
Once you
happening.
start seeing the roadwork signs, they'll bring them out, the little things, and then once you see those, you know it's going to start soon.
Yeah.
And it could be the next day or the next week, but they're getting serious.
Yeah, and I didn't know if maybe the trees that you were talking about, I didn't know if it was part of this plan or if it was really someone.
Sure, and I don't know what the blue means, but usually the road commission uses green or orange when they mark the
It could be
trees.
consumers or
Oh,
our company or
consumers,
something,
yeah.
Could be consumers. So if consumers has marked them, then maybe we can get them to get them out there and get them done, and maybe we
Save us
just
some
bill
money.
them for it and get some money back.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely talk to the road commission about that and find out what that signifies, and maybe it's theirs, but usually they use green or orange.
Yeah. My other, we'll get some notification when they're actually newsletter or.
As soon as we find out, we'll post it on our website. I don't know if you've been to it, you can go to www.tyronetownship.us, and on the front page, you can click on it, and it'll say, receive email alerts. And once we post something, you'll get an alert saying that we've made a change, and you can take a look to see if that's it, and,
Yeah.
okay? So we try to, and we're updating that constantly. That's Terry over there that does all that work, and she's fabulous at it, so. Thank you. Thank you. Our residents appreciate it, so. Was there anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you for being patient.
No, that was my question scheduled, so.
Scheduling,
Okay.
okay.
All right, anybody else? Thank you very much. And now that we're done with public remarks, we have no other business, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and supported to adjourn our meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting's adjourned. Yeah. Real special. That was a good meeting.
Felt special?
Yeah. I
We shut the road down for